Okay class, in this short video I'm going to talk to you guys about the geography of Argentina. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Argentina is the second largest country in South America, which, if I remind you, is also a continent. Now, not only is Argentina part of a continent, but Argentina is also broken down into 4 different regions. And we're actually going to talk very briefly about each individual one. You have the Patagonia region. Don't confuse it for the outdoor brand. The Pampas region, the Andes Mountains region, and the Chaco region. Patagonia, which, if we look at our map, is found down below. The Patagonia is the dry, windy region of southern Argentina, and this region is used mainly to raise sheep. So this part right there is typically very dry, very windy, and much cooler than in this region of Argentina. And right to the right of you, or on the right side of your screen, you have a landscape of what Patagonia in certain areas looks like. Our next region, and we've talked about this one before, is the Pampas region. And the Pampas, as we've learned, is a fertile grassy plains of Argentina, and this area is mainly used to raise cattle or other types of livestock. A lot of flat land, a lot of farming happens in this region, and this is primarily where a lot of gauchos lived. On the western part of Argentina, we have the Andes Mountains, and these are found in this region right here. And those are known as the Andes Mountains. This region is home to some of the highest mountains in the world. For example, Mount Aconcagua, which happens to be the tallest mountain in South America, is also found here. On the bottom below is a picture of the Andes Mountains, and these are extremely high up. Very cold temperatures. The higher you go up these mountains, the less oxygen there is. So if you decide to go to Mount Aconcagua or the surrounding areas, you do have to be careful because of something called altitude sickness. And the last region we have is the Chaco region. Now this region is found kind of in this area right there, and this area is mainly known for having grassy lowlands with very small trees, as you see in the picture below. Now, unlike the Andes Mountains and the Pampas and Patagonia, this is a very hot and very humid part of Argentina. As I mentioned before, Argentina is found on the continent of South America, and it is also the second largest country on this continent. It is bordered by 5 countries, which include the country of Chile, which is found right there to the left of Argentina. You have Bolivia, which is in the northwestern part of Argentina. Paraguay, right up above. You have Uruguay, which is down below, kind of near the center on the eastern side. And then Brazil has a small section where it meets or touches with Brazil. So those are the 5 countries that surround Argentina. Now, we won't really get too much into the climate in Argentina, but I do think it is worth noting. Argentina does have a varied climate depending on where you go. The further north of Argentina is going to be very hot, very humid, whereas as you go further south and further west, it tends to get drier and a lot colder. But most, if you look at this picture here, most of Argentina has a semi-arid climate. So when we're looking at semi-arid, we're kind of talking about this region that's kind of highlighted in kind of a orange/brownish color. That's kind of a semi-arid, which means that it's typically very dry, doesn't get a lot of moisture. And then you also have a humid subtropical climate, which if we look here is the areas that I'm kind of highlighting in purple, and those tend to be very, very hot. Humid subtropical, it's very humid, very hot, receives quite a bit of rainfall, and so forth. And then it also has a little maritime, which just means if you look in this area, it has kind of a coastal type of climate. And then down below you have a tundra, which only a small part of Argentina has. That tundra typically means super cold. Very few grasses and trees grow there just because of its proximity to the South Pole. Continuing on with the geography of Argentina, we've learned before that the capital of Argentina is Buenos Aires, and we also have talked about, so this is a very quick review on how this city is also known as the Paris of South America. As we mentioned before, major reason, or the big reason why it's called the Paris of South America, its buildings are influenced by the European style. A lot of parks that are very beautiful, that attract a lot of attention. A lot of monuments are also found in Buenos Aires. Rivers. Argentina has a major river system flowing through it, and as you guys have probably learned in elementary school, rivers are extremely important not only for countries but for any major civilization, because rivers can provide a variety of different things. Argentina has 4 major rivers flowing through it. We'll talk about each one in very quickly. Rio de la Plata, which translates to the Silver River, the Uruguay River, the Paraguay River, and the Paraná River. As you can see in the bottom picture, you can see the different rivers that flow through this part and flow right outside Argentina, or excuse me, Buenos Aires. So it is a very, very large river system, and it helps this area in many ways. Alright, and the last thing we will very, very quickly discuss is how Argentina is mostly considered an urban country, which means that they live mainly in cities. So just to give an idea, about roughly 92% of the population of Argentina live within cities, while the rest of the country live in rural communities, which means to live in the country, which is about 8%. So a majority of Argentinians live in some type of city, whether it's Buenos Aires, Rosario, La Plata, San Miguel de Tucumán, and many more. Whereas 8% tend to live in the countryside, where they live on farms, or they contribute to the economy by selling some type of good, such as livestock and so forth. Alright guys, so that was very quickly going through the geography of Argentina. Please be sure to answer all the questions on the link that I have provided, and then have these completed by Wednesday, and that is all. Thank you.